With the 2023 NFL Draft coming up, I am going through the best of every positional group in this class. This is the fourth adaptation of the series, this time going through the top 5 tight ends. With the position full of extremely athletic all-around players, these are the 5 best tight ends in the 2023 NFL Draft. I'm Chase Keller, and I hope you enjoy. Before I get into the top 5 list, there are a couple of tight ends that are honorable mentions. From 6th to 8th, I have Oregon State tight end Luke Musgrave with a B-, Old Dominion tight end Zach Kuntz with a C, and Penn State tight end Brenton Strange with a C. Kicking off this list is Iowa tight end Sam LaPorta. As one of the most productive tight ends in all of college football, playing in one of the least productive offenses in Division I, LaPorta is surprisingly avoiding several top 5 lists. While it is a bit controversial placing him above Luke Musgrave for the 5th spot, LaPorta still shines and showcases a lot of NFL attributes. It starts with LaPorta's route running. Throughout his entire route, he stays confident and crisp, creating some of the best separation of any tight end in this class. He does have some deep threat concerns due to his all-around athleticism and average ball skills, but his top gear speed in the open field helped him work as a 3 level in college. His route running will likely be relied on to keep the 3rd level of receiving in his game. LaPorta's primary threat was in the first 2 levels, as his open field ability with the ball is fantastic for a tight end. He uses multiple threats with this aspect, whether it's his solid lateral elusiveness to lose defenders or power to get extra yardage through a tackle. His instincts on this matter are good as well. He is a smart runner with the ball in his hands, finding space and attacking that space through his threats. To me, tight ends need to be a dual threat on offense to be an A prospect. These guys can be really good at one threat, which is the case of LaPorta, but somewhat bad at the other threat. LaPorta's blocking hits him here on this report. While he is a competitive blocker with nice instincts, his problem comes through his blocking technique and capability to sustain blocks. He does have nice habits to push a speed blocker off their rush, but if pass rushers watch the film, they should learn to power right through LaPorta. Because he is often late to pick up the blitz, he is laid flat on his back and has allowed opposing rushers to easily pressure the quarterback. The stat sheet can't be ignored either, as especially as a productive tight end, 5 touchdowns on 153 receptions is concerning. At the next level, teams will need to figure out his problem with little red zone production and attempt to fix it. Without that, he may become a liability in the red zone for any team. Yet he could perform like a 2022 Brett Freiermuth, who was productive but only caught 2 touchdowns on 63 receptions last year. As an overall prospect, it's a bold move to place LaPorta over Musgrave. Honestly, it was a close matchup, but it's hard to disregard his production and a terrible offense along with his top-tier route running and yards after contact skills. LaPorta gets a B- for me, translating to a late 2nd to early 3rd round pick. At number 4, I have an FCS player in South Dakota State tight end Tucker Kraft. Kraft is an enticing prospect, and while I don't have any all-22 film on him, I did watch some South Dakota State games, and he looks like he's good enough to translate from the FCS to an NFL role. Kraft's 6'5", 254-pound frame is very appealing, as it fits your typical NFL standard. He's built all around, and it replicates his strength with and without the ball. He's a powerful blocker, and he's a strong route runner who just puts his head down and goes. He's aware of his powerful mechanics as well, as he commonly used it to his advantage, especially in pass situations. Along with his strength, Kraft is a respectable athlete, especially for a tight end. He may not be the most athletic guy of these 5, but with his frame, he can easily produce better athleticism at the next level. He's an okay route runner with solid elusiveness, good top gear speed for his size, and good explosiveness as well. With this all being said, teams should adore the fact that he's an all-around threat at the position. Solid pass and run blocker, okay route running, solid yards after contact, and overall good offensive instincts. He may not have an elite factor, but he doesn't have a bad factor either, making his upside look fantastic. With that being said, though, Kraft did play in the FCS. He did suffer an injury in his 2022 junior campaign, but it shouldn't affect his stock too much as it's a healed right ankle injury. The production is hard to avoid too, with the 780-yard, 6-touchdown sophomore season, but in FCS competition, it's going to be a big leap to the NFL. In terms of attributes, he once again does not have any bad concerns by any means, but his route running is just okay, plus he uses his physical traits to create separation more than anything else. If he continues these tendencies at the next level, separation will be an issue. His blocking technique is also a concern, as because of his frame, he struggles to work with undersized pass rushers. He saw a lot of these guys in the FCS, but it should be an immediate improvement at the next level for him. As I said before, Kraft is an enticing prospect with great upside, but questions will be asked on if he can jump from the FCS to the NFL. Many guys have before, and with the amount of positives that Kraft holds, he should be alright. I have a B- grade for Kraft, translating to a late second to early third round talent. On to number 3, I have Utah tight end Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid had 2 productive seasons with San Diego before transferring to Utah to have 2 more productive seasons in a tight end friendly offense. The scheme does inflate his statistics a little bit, but the impact he had on the field is still worth noting. The tight ends in this class struggle with separation and all-around route running, but Kincaid perfectly represents a receiving tight end. In fact, separation is his best trait, primarily through great open field vision, crisp route breaks, immediate explosion, and other big aspects. He has a great sense for the ball as well, where he can track the ball at all levels to either get the best available catch or draw a pass interference call. He does have some concerns with consistency in this aspect, but at its best, it's elite. Kincaid's body control also mirrors that of a wide receiver, as he's very good at directing himself to the ball. His hands are great for a tight end, and he uses them greatly with his body control. He puts himself in situations to make the contested catches through controlling himself, and he has great concentration to haul in the football. On the blocking end of things, Kincaid isn't the greatest. His technique and strength at first contact is inconsistent and will likely struggle to develop his blocking at the next level. He struggles to pick up power rushers and at the next level could develop like LaPorta, getting thrown to the ground. He also struggles to pick up elusive blitzers as his length is a struggle to keep them away. A minor concern to Kincaid, but a nod to his development, is his experience. He started playing football in 2017, which was his senior year of high school. We see Devin Witherspoon being in the top 10 on most big boards, and he's played for a very short amount of time, but I want to see more development out of Kincaid at the next level. As a prospect, Kincaid brings a lot of receiving abilities to the table and could be an elite receiving tight end at the next level. He does need to develop more, but his production should speak enough about his skill. Kincaid gets a B+ grade, translating to an early second round talent. Down to the final 2. At number 2, I have Georgia tight end Darnell Washington, who I originally wasn't a fan of, but after watching his film, he looks like a very dominant tight end. I do have my concerns for his production, but I'll get to that after these elite prospect positives. First off, I was shocked by his blocking ability all around the field. In the run, in the pass, in upfield scenarios, and honestly anywhere on the field, Washington is an extremely powerful blocker who is always pushing linebackers and defensive back backwards and making amends or meeting defensive linemen at the contact point. He is sometimes unaware of his surroundings as a blocker, but his great ability to get under the pads and work with the defender disregards his oblivion. Washington is also very athletic for his size. He stands at 6'7", 264, which is already appealing in itself, but his top gear speed, his acceleration to top speed, and his high motor get him open in many situations. He can improve heavily on his explosiveness off the line and his reaction time, but for his frame, he is freaky athletic. The problem with Washington is his separation. He has solid lateral elusiveness, but he's either using it at the wrong time or he's just lousy through his break. His route running may affect him at the next level, but it's not terrible. Nonetheless, he was used more in the run game at Georgia or blocking, a nod to his under-average route running. Adding on to his snap count, he was outperformed by sophomore tight end Brock Bowers. To his defense, Bowers is the best tight end in college football, going for nearly 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns in 2022. But his snap count was still concerning. Now, that is why I originally wasn't a fan of Washington, but after a film study, he is very talented for his size, especially with strength and athleticism. He has a lot of upside for the next level, and hopefully he can be utilized more in the NFL than he was at Georgia. I'm giving Washington an A- grade, which means he is worth a mid to late first round pick. Finally, topping the list at number 1, I have Notre Dame tight end Michael Mayer, who has been my number 1 all year. Mayer has a lot of talent and many threats for a tight end, most of which should easily translate for him to be an immediate impact starter. First, Mayer is an all-around great tight end. He has fantastic receiving abilities and great blocking abilities and instincts. For receiving, Mayer does have elite body control, and it may be worse than Kincaid, but that's saying a lot with how great he really is. He does have nice ball skills and hands as well, but the body control is what helps him bring down inaccurate passes, contested catches, and everything in between. His instincts to go straight to the ball using his elite concentration is what elevates him to be a reliable receiving tight end. He is also a threat at all three levels of receiving. His very wide route tree helps contribute to this, as in the short game he ran a variety of routes in an attempt to get separation from a variety of defenders. In the medium game it could be extended, but he did find a majority of his success through the seam or out routes where defenders weren't particularly present. In the deep game he has a surprisingly wide route tree and a big route tree for a tight end. It is wider than some wide receivers, and this deep route tree does help him find immense success for a tight end in the deep game. When it comes to blocking, he's just an overall stout blocker with blocking abilities in all scenarios. It's not elite by any means, but just being an all-around blocker is going to help any NFL franchise out. Most of Mayer's concerns come from his open field ability and what he does after he gets the ball. His lateral elusiveness is first, as his route running is good, but after getting the ball, he's very predictable and struggles to change direction with these deceptive moves. He doesn't nearly get enough ground covered on these moves, so it's going to be something he wants to improve on for the next level. Because of his lack of open field lateral elusiveness, he tends to go down on first contact, which could spurt to be a lingering issue or a non-factor at the next level, depending on where he gets selected. Where should he get selected? Mayer's a great all-around tight end who can ride as an anchor to any offense. Think of an early George Kittle or even a current Mark Andrews. I'm giving Mayer an A grade, which translates to an early to mid first round selection. I hope you enjoyed this top 5 tight ends list. Did you agree? Did you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Chase Keller from Chase Keller Journalism, and thank you guys so much for choosing this channel as your source of sports coverage. See you guys in the next one.